Let's talk about last night's debate and specifically JD Vance's performance. Now look, I get it. He's very slick, he's very poised, he's clearly a really good debater, but from a substance perspective, that debate last night, that performance last night was despicable and frankly disqualifying. The JD Vance that you saw on that debate stage, you will never see again because he went on stage last night and pretended to be something that he is totally not. So I want to talk about three specific areas where we should match JD's rhetoric with the reality. And that's going to be the Affordable Care Act, abortion, and if he really is as pro-family and pro-child as he claims to be. Listening to JD Vance last night, you would think that Donald Trump and JD Vance are the biggest supporters of the Affordable Care Act. The reality is that Donald Trump tried to repeal the Affordable Care Act multiple times, and when he failed to do that, he took executive actions to weaken the Affordable Care Act. As President Donald Trump cut the open enrollment period in half to just 6 weeks, limiting the amount of time people have to enroll for the Affordable Care Act, he cut the marketing budget by 90%, limiting how much information people could receive about the new enrollment period and other things that are important to know about the Affordable Care Act. He severely cut funding enrollment assistance for the Affordable Care Act, making premiums much more expensive for the average American. And all of this resulted not in an increase of people who signed up for insurance through the Affordable Care Act, as JD Vance claimed last night, but a massive decrease. Now let's talk about abortion, right? Last night, JD Vance spoke beautifully about needing to build trust back with women and win women back on this issue and show that they really care about them. The reality is that it's Donald Trump's fault that all of this is happening. He overturned Roe v. Wade with his 3 Supreme Court justices, and then Republican states, not Democratic states, Republican states implemented some of the most extreme and repressive abortion laws that we've ever seen in this country's history, which has led to women literally dying. Last night, JD Vance even went so far as to say that he does not support a national abortion ban. Well, again, that rhetoric doesn't match the reality. This image was on JD Vance's Senate website up until the day before the debate. In it, he claims he's 100% pro-life and that he wants to eliminate abortion. Finally, and related to our last topic, JD Vance went on and on and on about how he wants the Republican Party to be the party of family, the party that supports children, the party that makes it easier to raise children. Well, again, the rhetoric does not meet the reality. Earlier this year, when the Senate took up a bill to renew the child tax credits that have cut childhood poverty in half, JD Vance couldn't even be bothered to show up for the vote. The Republicans killed that bill in the Senate. JD Vance didn't even travel to D.C. to vote on it, and they did all of this, as Tom Tillis, a Republican from North Carolina, said, because to pass that bill would give Harris a win before the election. So let's just be very clear here. JD Vance does not care about you or your family. The reality for JD Vance is that he wants to ban abortion nationwide. He does not support the Affordable Care Act. And when it came time to put some action to his words when it comes to supporting families and children, he couldn't even be bothered to show up to vote.